It is a sound that evokes a different time, or as Julie Cleaver of New Deal Horse and Carriage puts it,
riding in the carriage is something not many people experience. It's a whole different way of traveling, as we call it, traveling in the past.
And the past is very present in the village of Wickford in North Kingstown, Rhode Island. A picture-perfect waterfront surrounds a wide variety of shops and restaurants, including a spot with a familiar name. And the side streets are lined with historic colonial-era homes. Julie and husband Jack rent carriages and horses for weddings, special events, and by appointment.
It's just a pleasant, relaxing way to travel.
They've also teamed up with town historian Tim Cranston for historic tours of North Kingstown.
Before that, it was called the Vacant Narragansett Lands. It was very attractive because the Narragansett tribe was a very agricultural tribe, and they had cleared lots of the land. The colonists were looking at this land as this is prime real estate. It's already cleared. I mean, if you're coming over here from England, you don't want to go out in the woods and chop down 400 trees. You want to take the Narragansett's land, which is already cleared.
From shipbuilding in its deep water port to the development of summer homes for the well-heeled, there's plenty for Tim Cranston to tell.
North Kingstown is the perfect canvas for me to tell a whole variety of stories that span the gamut of history. History, up until, say, the last 40 or 50 years, was what I like to call the rich white guy's version of history. We have a better story than just the rich white guy story. We have a broad story that brings in all of this. Black people, Native Americans, women, immigrants, all who came here to New England to better their lives.
Those lives centered around farming, and much of its history is preserved here at Casey Farm, a 300-acre property given by the Casey family to historic New England to be preserved in perpetuity. Jane Hennedy is Historic New England site manager.
Just like the Caseys, we believe that keeping this place for everybody to enjoy is important. They recognized that it was a special place and reflected the agricultural history of rural Rhode Island.
The farm draws visitors with educational programs, community-supported agriculture, and a vibrant farmers market on Saturdays. Colonial settlers were drawn here because of the centuries of farming done by the native Narragansett Indians.
The land already was somewhat open when colonial people got here because the Narragansett practice was to burn off a lot of the brush and the small trees so that they could plant.
So those are some of the things you can do in North Kingstown, Rhode Island. There's a lot more, and we'll get to that in a moment. But first, I've got a plane to catch.
The goal of the Children's Democracy Project is to enlighten a younger generation not only about the importance of democracy, but to develop an appreciation for the right to vote.
And the New York-based Children's Democracy Project is hoping to do that with this replica of Air Force One, a fully functioning 747, outfitted in parts just like the real deal. From the President's airborne office to the conference room to some of the items carried on board by various administrations. Ari Scharf is chairman of the Children's Democracy Project.
We want to give them a message that this great airplane, this is actually an extension of what you are as a citizen of this country. And when kids get all excited, and they wonder, well, how does someone become president? That's the question we want to hear, because then we can start getting into the conversation about democracy and voting.
People always ask me what it's like to be on Air Force One. Well, you're about to find out for yourself. Welcome aboard.
Howie Franklin was a flight attendant and chief steward on board Air Force One for 5 presidents.
My greatest responsibility is to make sure everything that was consumed on that airplane by everybody that was on the airplane hadn't been tampered with.
He also sought to create a comfortable and professional environment.
The primary responsibility first of Air Force One is to provide secure and safe air transportation for the president. Number 2 is to provide the same services that the White House would provide as the airplane travels throughout the world.
There is an exhibit of the history of presidential travel, including one of President Kennedy's limousines. The plan is for the plane to travel to New York, Washington, and beyond, spreading its message about democracy.
This one day can be them. They can be president of the United States. That's what's great about this country. Everyone has a chance.
True of democracy, true for the early settlers of North Kingstown, and true for those who carry on its legacy today. And as we said, there are travel plans for the Air Force One replica. It is currently in Washington, D.C. and will soon travel to New York. And back on Casey's Farm, it hosts an apple festival this Saturday. Then its final farmers market of the season is on October 26th, and that will include hay rides and treats for the whole family. Next, we are off to Marblehead for Dinner on the Ocean.